Today we want to talk about how can you sell your house for more money and more quickly. We want to know those things that maybe they're not as important in your mind when it's a hot seller's market, but markets change, and even in the hot seller's market, there's some things that we can do so that our home sells for more money and sells more quickly, which is important for everybody in the process. And probably the simplest thing that you can do, and that we always recommend right off the start, is depersonalize and declutter. Now, you know, your home has probably got wonderful pictures in it from family growing up and different events that happened in your lives, and they're wonderful, but maybe not so wonderful when people come to see your home. We want to be able to have people that come through think about themselves living there and see themselves there. So we want to remove some of those personalized pictures. If we have, piles of stuff kind of all over, we want to remove those piles of stuff so that when somebody comes in, they can see themselves in the home. Now, we don't want the home to be so spotless that there's nothing in there. We still want people to feel like, hey, this is still a cozy home, this is still a livable home, but we want to take care of just removing the excess, wherever it might be. Maybe you have a wall with pictures of everybody from the time they were born to the time they graduated high school. Maybe that's the time to take some of those pictures down, put something else on that wall that's just a little more generic. And so that's the number one thing you can do, that when people walk in the door, they can start thinking about themselves and seeing themselves in your home. Another thing that you can do that will help with the appearance of your home when people come through is just take care of the obvious repairs. Now, I'm not talking about renovating your whole home. If you want to do that, that's wonderful, in a completely different situation than what we're talking about here. But just the basic obvious things. So if you have squeaky doors, take care of those squeaky doors. If you have leaky faucets, take care of those leaky faucets. If there's a toilet that's running, take care of those things. What you want to make sure is when people come into your home, you don't want them focusing on those things. You want them focusing on the home and all the great features in your home. And one of the things about when there's little things like that people come in and see, they start to maybe think about, gee, what else hasn't been kept up in this home? Maybe this hasn't been done, maybe that hasn't been done. So just to avoid that, that's a simple thing to do. If there's maybe a wall that needs to be painted, if there's maybe some drywall that needs to be taken care of, this is the time to take care of those basic things. Something else in kind of conjunction with that you can do is go and buy a whole bunch of light bulbs and make sure that every light fixture in your home has a good light bulb in it. Now, I'm not talking about, like a 1,000-watt bulb that lights people's hair on fire when they turn it on kind of thing, but just a good light, and make sure every light in your home has a light bulb in it that works, and then check it before any showings just to make sure. And something you can do that will help that process is turn on every single light in your home before any showings at all. In the bathrooms, if you have lights in the closet, turn those on. Turn on every single light, because you want to show off your home. And just making sure, something as simple as making sure that you have good quality light bulbs in every light fixture, every lamp, everything that is supposed to give off light, is an easy way to put your house's best foot forward. And people might not know, gee, I really like this. I'm not sure what I like about this home. Well, maybe what they like is they can see everything and it just feels comfortable. And that's what we want to show people when they come in. We want people to come in and think, wow, this is a great home. This person's obviously taking care of this home, and it looks like I'd love to live here. So that's another simple thing, that you can do. Do the obvious repairs, take care of those things, and just simply put light bulbs in every light fixture and make sure those light bulbs work. Something else you can do is you can paint any walls in your home that are maybe extreme colors. And again, it may not be as relevant in a really hot seller's market, but if it's in a balanced market, or even just to get top value for your home, if you have a wall that's bright pink, maybe this is the time to kind of downgrade that color and bring it down to something that's a little bit more generic and easy for people to see themselves in again. So, and I'm not talking about a massive, massive project. I'm just talking about if there are walls that need, some touch-ups, if there are walls that need just some toning down, this is the time to do it. And you can have people come in and still buy your home and be thinking, well, I'll just repaint this wall and repaint that wall, and that's great. But would you not rather have someone come in and just say, this is great, I don't have to do anything. Therefore, I'm prepared to pay a little bit more because I don't have to paint the home. I don't have to do these things. So that's a simple thing that you can do also. It doesn't take very much time. You can do it yourself. You can have somebody else come in to do it. But a great way, again, this is all about how can I put my house's best foot forward. And a simple coat of paint will go a long way to making sure that people come in and see that best foot for your home. What else can we do to make our house sell faster and for more money? You can take care of your yard. We call it curb appeal. When someone pulls up to your house, we want them to see the beautiful house, the lawn's been cut, the hedges been cut, the flowers look wonderful. And thankfully we live in Victoria where the flowers can look wonderful year round. You want to show that off. So cut the grass, trim the hedges. Even if there's some spots, maybe you can plant some flowers. This is the time to plant some flowers so they look good when people come up to see your home. If your driveway's really dirty, for example, just simply spray it down so that it looks good when people walk up. And this is all about the curb appeal of your home. We call it curb appeal because it's what you see when you pull up and you look at the home. So a simple thing, you could probably take care of it in one Saturday or one weekend is cutting and you probably do all of these things if you have a house already, but cutting the grass and taking care of your yard work and making sure everything's trimmed, and if something needs to be planted, just to look good, maybe this is the time to get that flower display right on the pot at the front door or something like that. But this is the time to do all of those things so that when somebody pulls up, they just see the house and they're just like, wow, this house looks amazing. You know what else you can do to really have your house sell faster and for more money? This is something that I heard again and again and again when I was growing up. Clean up, clean up, clean up. Turns out my mom had hidden wisdom when it comes to selling your home. A simple thing that we can do also is clean and clean again. And one of the services that we offer from our team is we will actually send in cleaners before we do the photos and the floor plans and the videos to make sure that your home is spotless and immaculate. And so you do that once, but really every time there's going to be a showing, just go through and clean again. Wipe down counters. If you need to open windows to let things air out, whatever the case might be, make sure everything's just perfect and pristine. And so clean as many times as you have to so that your home looks just that spectacular, perfect home for someone to live in. And guess what? I guess our parents were right when they kept telling us to clean our rooms and clean up, because it turns out it's great to do that to get your house ready to sell. Something else that you can do, we've heard it called home staging and preparing your house for sale, but there's so much more to it than just moving some furniture around. We actually have a concierge on our team. Her responsibility is she'll come into your home and she'll be able to consult with you, and we will take care of the consultation, consult with you about what you can do for your home to look the best. And if that means things need to be taken out, they can coordinate that. Maybe they need to sell things that, sometimes we have so much stuff in our house and we're just like, what are we gonna do with this? How am I gonna get rid of this? Well, our concierge can come in and she can coordinate to actually have it sold, or have, she'll bring in her team and they'll do yard sales or garage sales, whatever the case might be, to get those things out of the house. So we're here to coordinate that and help that whole process and put all the pieces together, because I understand, you have a job, you have a life, you have all these other responsibilities. So this is something else that we offer as a service to help you in the whole process and put that together. And we take care of that initial consultation so that you can have good information to make those decisions about what's best for your home. And I just want to reiterate what we talked about again, that you don't get a second chance to make a first impression when it comes to your home. So some real simple things to add to that. Make sure your home smells wonderful. Open the windows. Make sure everything's aired out. And if you just cooked onions, maybe you need to do something to make sure that smell is just out of there. I had a client one time, and she was a great idea. Whenever we would do, this was obviously before COVID, whenever we would do open houses, she would come that morning before the open house and she would bake apple pie. And I'm telling you, when I came into the house, I was like, oh, I'm just good to stay here. I don't even need to do anything. But people loved it because it just relaxed them when they came in. So something that we may not think about, but is so important, is what does your house smell like? And I know that might be a little bit, you might think that's a little bit obtuse, but it's not really, because it's part of, again, how people, how they think when they come into your home. They may not realize that what they see, what they hear, what they smell, and all these things break down into an opinion of your home. But something as simple as opening windows and airing out your home and having, some nice natural smells in your home, and how far that will go for the people that are coming through. Okay, what's one other thing, and this is probably the final thing we're going to talk about, that you can do for helping your house sell more quickly and for more money, is as much as possible be flexible about showing times. I understand that we all have lives and schedules, and maybe there's kids and all of those other things, but be as flexible as you can for showing times. If we're listing your home and we'll work within whatever parameters you give us, 100%. We're here to make it easy. We're here to work with you. We're here to fit into your schedule, but we're also here to give you some advice and some tools so that it can go, more smoothly for the showing process. So if we're talking about, you can only come and see the house between 1 and 2 on every second Tuesday, it's going to take a long time to sell your home, because we want maximum exposure of everything we do on the internet and the things that we do in social media and in print media and all those things, but then we need the people to come and see the home. So whatever you can do to give us the most flexible showing times, that will go the farthest way in terms of value for you. I know, I had one client who, they had a young child, I think he was 2 or 3 years old, and they just decided to go on a staycation while we listed their home. And so they went to a hotel with a pool and a water park, and they had a great time for 3 or 4 days. And what we did was we showed the home and said, you can see it any time during these 3 or 4 days. And we left the showing times wide open. We had lots of showings go through, and guess what? At the end of that 3-4 day period, we ended up with multiple offers, and we ended up selling their home for more than their asking price. And you might say, well, that happens all the time. Well, I like to think that's going to happen all the time for us and for our team, but that's not the reality. It doesn't happen that way all the time, but there are things that we can do to facilitate that, and this is one of those things. And it was so great for my clients, because they had a little vacation with their son, and then they didn't end up feeling like, oh man, we got to pack up and get out the door again. Oh my goodness, well, let's make sure everything's cleaned up again. So it was a one-time thing. They cleaned everything up and left, then they came back from their holiday and nobody came back into their home after that, and the deal got done. So that's just an example, but flexible showing times, whatever we can do to accommodate getting people into the property to see the home, that's going to facilitate the selling of the property. We've been over a few different things here about, getting your house ready to show and how we can get it sold more quickly and for more money. But, really at the end of the day, we're here to work with you. And you might say, those are great ideas, but I just can't do all of those things. Or maybe this works, but that doesn't work for me. We're here to work with you. So whatever that looks like for you, maybe you say, I want to just engage your concierge and get her in here to give me the breakdown of what can I do, how can I do this, and how can she do this to help me. And I've had clients over the years that have done that with her, and they've had a fantastic experience in terms of getting their home sold and getting it on the market in time and all of these things. And I've had other clients that have had her come in and they've just taken her advice and her recommendations and they've done all of the work and had a great experience with that as well. But ultimately, we want to work with you. We want to work with your schedule and your time. But I just want to encourage you that when you're starting to think about these things about listing your home, we believe as a team, we believe in being excellent in everything that we do. So we want to do our best for you, and whatever that looks like for you, we're here to help. We're here to work with you, and we're here to see your home get sold.